Disclaimer: this audio recording includes subtitles so you can follow along more intentionally and absorb the ideas at your own pace. Why does evil exist in the world? It's one of the oldest, deepest, and most unsettling questions humanity has ever asked. Because evil isn't just a concept. It's personal. We see it in the child who suffers, in the innocent caught in war, in the millions who cry out in pain and hear only silence in return. So how do we make sense of this? How can an all-loving, all-powerful God coexist with such overwhelming suffering? When someone we love suffers, when we witness injustice, cruelty, or senseless loss, we don't just ask what happened, we ask why. This question, why a loving, powerful God permits evil, is the heart of a branch of philosophy and theology known as theodicy. Theodicy seeks to reconcile three ideas. 1. God is all-powerful. 2. God is all-good. 3. Evil and suffering are real. How can all three be true at the same time? Theodicy isn't just abstract debate. It's a real, raw inquiry that touches the faith of believers, the skepticism of doubters, and the hearts of anyone who's ever looked at the world and whispered, "Why would God allow this?" The problem of evil is not just a philosophical puzzle. It's an emotional and spiritual riddle that has haunted humanity for millennia. At its heart, it's about this: how can a God who is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-loving allow evil and suffering to exist in the world? Let's break it down. 1. God is omnipotent. He has the power to stop evil. If God is truly all-powerful, then no force, natural or human, should be beyond his control. He could stop every atrocity, every disease, every tragedy, instantly. So why doesn't he? 2. God is omniscient. He knows everything that will happen. If he sees every murder, every disaster, every cry for help before it happens, then he knowingly allows it to unfold. Does that make him complicit? 3. God is benevolent. He is perfectly loving and good. A loving parent would never let their child suffer if they could prevent it. So how can a loving God allow millions of children to suffer daily from war, disease, abuse? Would a truly good being allow that? Here's the paradox. If God can stop evil, but won't, he's not good. If he wants to stop evil, but can't, he's not all-powerful. If he neither can nor wants to, then why call him God at all? This is known as the logical problem of evil, and it forces a hard question. Is our idea of God flawed, or is the world simply godless? Theologians, philosophers, and ordinary people have all wrestled with this question, and the answers they've proposed are as complex as the question itself. For thousands of years, believers, thinkers, and survivors alike have asked the same burning question. If God is good, why does he allow evil? And over time, a few major answers have emerged, each one an attempt to hold on to both faith and reason in a world full of suffering. One of the most common explanations is free will. The argument goes like this: God gave humans the freedom to choose. Without that freedom, love wouldn't be real, and neither would goodness. But freedom comes with risk. Humans can choose kindness or cruelty, compassion or genocide. Evil, then, isn't God's doing, it's ours. But what about natural disasters? Childhood cancer? Earthquakes don't have free will. And even with human evil, couldn't an all-powerful God stop the worst of it without taking away freedom? Another view says suffering has a purpose. It shapes us, grows us, develops empathy, strength, courage. Without pain, some argue, we wouldn't know joy. Without darkness, there's no light. This is sometimes called the soul-making theodicy, made famous by thinkers like John Hick. Supporters say, adversity builds depth. Struggle teaches wisdom. Even tragedy can create meaning. But survivors ask, why must growth come through agony? Couldn't a loving God teach us without trauma? Is a child's suffering worth someone else's enlightenment? Others take a different approach altogether. They say, we cannot know the mind of God. Evil, in this view, is a mystery, something only a divine perspective could comprehend. God sees the full picture. We see only a piece. This calls for faith as trust, not just belief. The story of Job in the Bible reflects this. A man loses everything, yet still refuses to curse God. This perspective offers comfort to many, but also frustration. Is mystery a meaningful answer, or a convenient escape from hard questions? Each of these views, free will, soul-making, divine mystery, offers a way to reconcile God and evil. But none come without cost. Each raises its own doubts. Each carries its own weight. So the question remains, not just theological, but deeply personal. Can we believe in a good God, in a world where so much is not? What if the existence of evil isn't proof that God doesn't care, but a sign of something else? What if the real miracle isn't a world without suffering, but a world where humans are free? If love is to be real, it must be chosen, not programmed. If courage is to matter, there must be danger. If compassion is to bloom, it must rise in the face of real pain. To make good truly possible, God had to make evil possible, too. That's the price of freedom. Think of a parent who steps back, lets their child fall, fail, feel heartbreak, not because they want them to suffer, but because only through experience do they truly grow. Maybe God doesn't eliminate evil, because doing so would eliminate us, our autonomy, our becoming, our souls. For many, the darkest times don't destroy faith, they refine it. Pain creates empathy. Loss reveals what matters. Even grief can carve out space for something sacred. Candles, some say. It wasn't until I suffered that I truly understood compassion. I hated the pain, but I would never give up the person I became through it. Could it be that in the very space where evil wounds us, something divine is still at work? Not preventing every pain, but walking with us through it. Not shielding us from suffering, but calling us to rise above it. That's not a simple answer, but maybe it's a sacred one. So, why does evil exist in a world said to be created by an all-loving, all-powerful God? There's no single answer, no perfect explanation that silences all doubt. But along the way, we've uncovered the main perspectives that people turn to. The free will defense. Evil exists because we're free to choose. Love and morality mean nothing if forced, and freedom carries the risk of darkness. Suffering is growth. Pain can deepen character. Struggle can open the soul. Some say God allows suffering not to punish us, but to shape us. Faith in mystery. Others believe our understanding is limited. God's reasons may be hidden, but not absent. Here, the answer isn't clarity, it's trust. The challenge remains. But many still find these answers inadequate. For every theory, there's a tragedy that seems to break it. The Holocaust, a child's final breath, an earthquake that buries a village. In the end, the question of evil isn't just philosophical, it's personal. It lives in hospital rooms, on battlefields, in the silence after prayer, and whether you believe, doubt, or walk somewhere in between. This question invites us all to look deeper into the nature of God, of humanity, and of what it means to find hope in a broken world. The question of evil touches us all, no matter what we believe. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think? Can evil and God coexist? Or does suffering challenge the very core of faith? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have an honest, respectful conversation. Your voice matters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want more deep dives into faith, philosophy, and the questions that shape our lives. Thanks for watching, and keep thinking.